Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 different fresh and citrusy kind of fragrances that are going to wow people this spring and summer. So like I said, kind of fresh and citrusy. By that I mean they have citrus notes really prominently in the fragrance, typically in the top, but they have other things going on as well. You don't want a list of 10 different fragrances that smell like grapefruit and only grapefruit. That'd be pretty boring. And today's video is sponsored by FRAGRANCEX.com. Got a link in the description to FRAGRANCEX. They're one of the biggest fragrance discounters in the United States. They've got really fast shipping, great customer service, great prices, and I'm gonna link each one of these fragrances in the description below as well at FRAGRANCEX. So a shout out to FRAGRANCEX. Let's jump into it. Let's start things off with this one right here. Creed AVENTUS Cologne. As ginger, vetiver, musk, and birch, and then the citrus here, mandarin orange, which takes the place of pineapple and bergamot in the original AVENTUS. This one is what it says it is, AVENTUS Cologne. This takes the AVENTUS DNA and scrubs away a lot of that smokiness from the birch. I mean, it still has a birch note, just not as prominent as in the original AVENTUS. And then you get that poppy, brisk, sweet ginger off the top, along with that mandarin orange. So this one has that versatility that the original AVENTUS has, only this one's better suited for spring and summer high heat situations. Doesn't have quite the performance of the original AVENTUS, but you know how you can fix that. That's right, spray more of it. Or spray it on your clothes, whatever. This next fragrance is from GUERLAIN, but I need to warn you guys, some people find it a little bit feminine. Personally, I think it's unisex. I think a guy can pull this off, a woman can pull this off. Either way, just as easily, but some people do think it's a little bit feminine. It is Mandarine BASILIC from the Aqua Allegoria line. This one has clementine, green tea, basil, and of course, mandarin orange as some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one right here has one of the most realistic citrus smelling openings that I've ever smelled. Especially when you factor in the price here. Now it's not super cheap, but this is not a fragrance, at least from discounters, that's all that expensive. Most of the time you can find this around 60 bucks or so. And in that range, you're gonna be really hard pressed to find an opening that smells as realistically citric as this one does. Like I literally sprayed it on just before starting this video, just so I could smell it again. And it is so freaking good. And really, the Aqua Allegoria line has some stunning fragrances. Springtime, summertime especially. They are just killer. Now, generally people are going to find Aqua Allegoria fragrances leaning feminine, a lot of them, but a lot of them are actually very much unisex fragrances, and this one I think is. It is a little bit of a faint fragrance in the sense that it doesn't project heavily for a long time and last forever, but while you can pick that one up, it is stunning. Next up, Wood in Wood. What a great name from Issey Miyake. Now you may be saying, but wait, the name, as you just mentioned, is Wood in Wood. Two ingredients, both of them wood. Wouldn't you know it though, it's not really a woody fragrance. There's ambroxan in here, there's woody notes in here, but it's really not much of a woody scent. Actually, it's more so based on grapefruit and apricot in the opening. So you get this really nice, interesting fruity mix, really appealing, bright, juicy. And as it dries down, it is more so on the ambroxan side of things than it is the wood side of things. So by that, I mean it stays pretty fresh, clean, modern, sparkly. It's that type of scent. It's not really all that well named, frankly. And some people online do give this a little bit of flack for that. So you'll occasionally see some reviews where people are like, wood and wood, boo, I wanted more wood. And that sounds weird, but it's still a good fragrance. I understand where people are coming from wanting that wood with the name, but you know, sometimes you don't get that wood. So instead of getting that good wood, you get apricot and grapefruit and a nice ambroxan dry down. Really appealing, super easy to wear. People love the way it smells. Just gotta get past the name. Next up, Gentleman Cologne from Givenchy. And this is one that I like a lot. This one has lemon and bergamot. But the real star of the show is gonna be Iris here. The Iris here is really fresh. It does have a little bit of that powdery feel that you might expect from Iris, but it comes across like an Iris that's been spritzed with water. So it has this great uplifting kind of feel to it. And then you have that lemon and bergamot mixing in right away as soon as you spray it on. That makes this one very, very fresh, which you might not immediately think of when you think of an Iris-based fragrance, because typically those are more for fall and winter. A lot of times they're fragrances people would consider like a formal wear kind of fragrance, but this one is not. It does have ambroxan, just like the last fragrance, so in the dry down, it's gonna go into that sort of familiar territory, that familiar modern masculine dry down that lots of fragrances have, but this one, super appealing. Great in spring and summer, great to the office as well, and I love it because it gives me that Iris feel that sometimes I want, but in a way that's more accessible. Next up, let's go with this one, Still Life from Olfactive Studio. They also have a fragrance called Still Life in Rio, and that one would be good as well. It's got pink pepper, elemi, and rum, along with yuzu. So this one's gonna give you a different citric feel from all the other fragrances in this list. And it smells awesome in the opening. It smells so good. One issue with this fragrance is it starts to sit close to your skin pretty quickly, pretty early on. That's an issue you'll run into sometimes with fragrances that have a heavy emphasis on citrus notes, because citrus is very volatile. It kind of hops off your skin and disappears really quickly. Another interesting thing about this is the rum that's in here. It gives kind of like an underlying syrupy sweetness to the citrus and that pink pepper, so that fresh poppy opening, it gives this syrupy sweet undertone to it. And that might not sound good, maybe, but it actually smells really good. Still Life in the first couple hours when you can really pick it up is so good. After that, like I said, it sits a bit closer to your skin, but it still smells amazing. Next up, Chrome Extreme from Azzaro. Chrome Aqua also could have made this list. That one, very solid. It's got cashmere, which is very popular nowadays. It's got juniper, sea notes, and then green mandarin as the citrus note in the fragrance. Some people will say this fragrance is a little bit of a shower gel type scent. I'm not gonna argue that. It is a little bit that kind of vibe in the sense that it's a very fresh blue fragrance. And the citrus here is on the sweeter side of things for me. So this one is a really sweet citrus. Like lots of fragrances in the Chrome line, this one has good performance as well. So you've got good projection, you've got good longevity here, great in the spring, great in the summer, and really you could stretch this into the fall as well because it does have a good amount of oomph to it. Chrome is a line that gets overlooked a bit now. When a new Chrome flanker comes out, a lot of guys see it and they're just like, Chrome, who cares? Chrome sucks. And yeah, some Chrome fragrances do suck. Some of them are not very good, but this one is solid, along with, like I just said, Chrome Aqua. Those will be the first two of the newer releases in the line that you should check out. Next up, let's go with this one. It's a semi-oldie but goodie. Set Sail St. Bart's from Tommy Bahama. Once upon a time, this got all the cheapy hype. All the cheapy hype was right here. And that's because it was really easily found at TJ Maxx and Ross's all across America, and Marshall's, can't forget them. And it has a little bit of a similarity to Virgin Island water from Creed. Now, if you spray them on side by side, you'll be able to tell that they're quite different. But it puts you in a similar kind of state of mind. It has a similar vibe in the sense that this is a really fresh, tropical fragrance, just like Virgin Island water. So while I get the connection between St. Bart's and Virgin Island water, don't buy this and expect it to be 95% the same as Virgin Island water, because it's not, but it's gonna give you a similar vibe. It has tequila, it's got sea notes, green notes, it's got agave, and it has lime as the citrus in this fragrance. And when you smell this, yeah, this is 100% just beach vacation. And I actually kind of have that lodged in my memory anyway, because I did go on a beach vacation years ago and this was the only fragrance I took. And let me tell you, you can spray yourself with this about 35 times when you're at the beach and it's not going to offend anybody. And it's also probably gonna last you like 2 hours, which is why you can spray it 35 times. And also it's cheap, so who cares? Spray yourself 200 times. Actually, maybe don't do that. That's probably not good for you. Realistically, that's too many sprays. This one though, fantastic. This one though is a fantastic fragrance for like a tropical getaway or a beach vacation. Really, really good. Clean, sweet, salty, nice. Next up, Neo from Xerjoff. Now this is a summertime banger. Neroli, green notes, vetiver, and bergamot, some of the notes in this fragrance. And this is gonna be one of the highest end, nicest bergamot white floral fragrances you're ever gonna smell. It is just stunning off the top. This stuff is great in the opening. As it dries down, you're mainly gonna get vetiver in the base of the fragrance, at least the strongest note in the base for me. And this stuff right here, worth every penny. Now, the bottle nowadays is a bit different. This is an older style bottle. The new style bottle looks like this. So if you buy it now, this is probably what it's gonna look like as opposed to this one. Still a little bit of an open debate as to which bottle style is better, this one or the new one. I don't know, you can let me know what you think. So if you're a lover of bergamot or neroli or both, you owe it to yourself to at least sample this at some point. Next up, Fly Away from Mugler. This is one of the new Mugler cologne fragrances or flankers, and this one makes heavy use of grapefruit and hemp, along with a mysterious sea note. Now, when I say sea note, I don't mean sea like the ocean, I mean sea like the letter C, a mysterious sea note, which most people think means cannabis. So hemp, cannabis, and grapefruit. Now I know that may not sound that great, but this fragrance is awesome. I love it, my wife loves it. It smells like grapefruit rind with this green kind of tantalizing, sparkly edge. It's really good. It's got this sort of earthy tinge to it as well. And I know that maybe doesn't sound that good, but it's like a clean earthy, if that makes any sense. And it is that hemp note. It comes across really interesting. It's actually the only fragrance that I own off the top of my head that smells like this. It is surprisingly really good. And like the original Mugler cologne, you can wear it just about any time that it's warm outside. Maybe it's not quite as versatile as the original because that one does have that soapy kind of feel to it. But nowadays, this one, to me anyway, smells a little more interesting. All right, last one, Cool Water Intense from Davidoff. It's got green mandarin, coconut, and amber, and this is strong. This stuff lasts forever and it projects a lot, at least off my skin. So I wouldn't suggest going too heavy with this one. You're gonna choke people out. It can be cloying. And this one is pretty interesting as well. It doesn't really smell like the original Cool Water at all to me. It's this green mandarin coconut mix, which again is really powerful and dries down to feature amber, so it warms up the more that it stays on your skin. It's one that had to grow on me over time, and sometimes you can find this for a really good deal at discounters. And when you can, this one makes a solid pickup because, like I said, lasts forever. And the makeup of this fragrance is such that you can wear it in cool weather. So you can pull this off in winter even. And as long as you don't go too heavy, you can pull it off in summer too. So there we go, 10 different fragrances with citrus that is a focus of the scent that will wow people this spring and summer. Again, a shout out to FRAGRANCEX.com for sponsoring the video. Link in the description. Check them out anytime you're looking for a fragrance for a good deal. All right, guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.